One small word can turn your life around. The true power of no. Stoic. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. In the hustle and bustle of our modern lives, we often face the daunting task of setting boundaries and asserting our own needs. The power of a single small word can be the turning point in reclaiming your peace and autonomy. Embracing the strength to say no is not just a skill, it's a vital part of maintaining your well-being and staying true to your path. How often do we find ourselves overwhelmed saying yes to things that drain our energy simply because we fear disappointing others? This pattern of self-sacrifice is all too common, but it doesn't have to be your reality. If you're new here, please like the video and subscribe. Together, let's embark on this empowering journey to master the art of saying no and transform our lives with the wisdom of Stoicism. Let's dive in and explore the true power of no. One, the importance of boundaries. Think about a life where you're constantly drained, always overcommitted, and perpetually stressed because you struggle to say one simple word: no. It sounds exhausting, right? In a world that often equates busyness with success, learning to say no can be transformative. It's a small word, yet it holds immense power and significance in our lives. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight underscores the importance of recognizing our boundaries and exercising our autonomy. In today's fast-paced world, where the demands of work, family, and social obligations can be overwhelming, understanding the power of no is essential. Saying no is not about rejecting opportunities or being negative. It's about self-preservation, self-respect, and maintaining control over our lives. It's about setting boundaries that protect our mental and emotional well-being. This concept is not new. Even the ancient Stoics understood the necessity of boundaries. They believed in the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. By saying no, we take control of our lives and prioritize our needs. Setting boundaries can sometimes feel uncomfortable, especially if we are not used to asserting ourselves. But as Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, wisely put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When we fail to establish boundaries, we invite stress, resentment, and burnout into our lives. We might feel obligated to say yes to every request, fearing rejection or disappointment. However, constantly yielding to others' demands can leave us feeling overwhelmed and powerless. Consider the metaphor of a garden. If you don't put up a fence, weeds will encroach and pests will invade, leaving your plants to wither. Similarly, our minds and lives need boundaries to flourish. Without them, we become susceptible to negative influences and distractions that hinder our growth. Boundaries are like that fence, protecting our time, energy, and mental space from being overrun by external pressures. Reflecting on modern life, think about how often we say yes out of obligation rather than desire. Perhaps it's agreeing to take on extra work when you're already stretched thin, or attending social gatherings when you crave solitude. While it's noble to help others, it's equally important to recognize when doing so comes at a cost to your own well-being. Saying no can be an act of kindness to yourself, allowing you to recharge and be more effective in areas that truly matter to you. The ability to say no is a muscle that needs to be developed. Initially, it may feel uncomfortable, even guilt-inducing, but with practice, it becomes empowering. It's about understanding your limits and not being afraid to enforce them. Seneca, another Stoic sage, emphasized, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." By spreading ourselves too thin, we fail to be truly present and effective in any single area of our lives. Think about the areas in your life where you can start saying no. Perhaps it's at work, where you often take on more tasks than you can handle, or in your personal life, where you attend every event despite needing downtime. Recognize that saying no is not about rejecting others, but about prioritizing your well-being. It's about giving yourself the space to thrive. Moreover, consider the quality of your relationships. Healthy relationships respect boundaries. If someone reacts negatively to your no, it might be a sign that the relationship is more about what they can get from you rather than a mutual, respectful bond. True friends and supportive colleagues will understand and respect your need for boundaries. Incorporating this Stoic practice into your life can lead to a profound shift in how you manage your time and energy. By saying no to the things that drain you, you create space for what truly matters. This might mean more time for self-care, pursuing your passions, or simply enjoying a moment of peace. It's about living intentionally and not just reacting to the demands placed upon you. The power of no is a cornerstone of a balanced and fulfilling life. It's about setting boundaries that honor your needs and protect your well-being. As the Stoics teach us, we must focus on what we can control, and one thing we can always control is our response to the world around us. Embrace the power of no, and you'll find that it opens doors to a more serene and empowered life. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By setting boundaries and saying no when necessary, you cultivate a life filled with intention, respect, and inner peace. 2. Exploring behavior and self-esteem. Often in our pursuit of validation and acceptance, we find ourselves extending our time and effort to others, frequently pushing beyond our limits. This behavior, while seemingly selfless, often stems from a deeper, more complex motivation: a search for personal validation, a profound desire to feel valued and accepted. It is a common phenomenon, but one that can lead to a dangerous trap where we risk losing our own identity. Picture this. You're at work, and your colleague asks you to help with a project that you know will require staying late. You have your own deadlines, your own plans, yet you say, yes. Why? Maybe you want to be seen as dependable. Maybe you're afraid of letting someone down, or perhaps you're worried about what your colleague might think of you if you refuse. Over time, these small concessions accumulate, leading to a life where your own needs and boundaries are consistently sidelined. This is where the power of no comes in, a word so small yet so pivotal in preserving your sense of self. Consider the story of Jane, a dedicated professional who was always the first to volunteer for additional tasks, the last to leave the office, and the one everyone turned to in a crisis. Jane's eagerness to help was driven by a deep-seated need for approval. She feared rejection and believed that by always being available, she would be indispensable. However, this relentless quest for validation took a toll on her health, her personal life, and her self-esteem. Jane was always tired, often stressed, and felt a growing sense of resentment towards her colleagues. She realized that in her bid to be valued, she had lost sight of her own needs and identity. Now, imagine Jane's life after she discovered the power of no. She started setting boundaries, prioritizing her well-being, and valuing her time. She learned that saying no did not make her less dependable. Rather, it made her more effective and more respected. Jane's story is a modern-day illustration of the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. The Stoics teach us that our value does not lie in others' opinions, but in our own character and actions. By learning to say no, we take a stand for ourselves, preserving our integrity and self-worth. Reflect on your own life. How often do you find yourself saying yes out of fear of disappointing others or seeking their approval? What would change if you started saying no more often? This simple yet powerful shift can lead to significant improvements in your mental and emotional health. It can help you reclaim your time, energy, and ultimately, your identity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters. This principle can be directly applied to our discussion. The demands and requests of others are external events. Our reaction, whether we say yes or no, is within our control. By choosing to say no, we exercise our agency, uphold our boundaries, and maintain our inner peace. Moreover, saying no is not about being selfish or unkind. It's about recognizing your limits and respecting your needs. It's about understanding that your time and energy are finite resources that should be allocated wisely. When you say no, you are, in fact, making space for what truly matters: your own well-being, your goals, and your priorities. Here's a practical exercise. Next time someone asks for your help, take a moment to pause. Assess the request honestly. Do you have the time and energy to fulfill it without compromising your own needs? If the answer is no, then practice saying it out loud. No, I can't help with that right now. Notice how it feels. Initially, it might be uncomfortable, but with practice, you will find it empowering. Let's engage with this thought. What are some areas in your life where you can start implementing this powerful no? How might this small word transform your daily interactions and overall sense of self-worth? By exploring these questions, you not only understand the importance of boundaries, but also start to integrate this wisdom into your everyday life. The true power of no lies in its ability to help us reclaim our identity, prioritize our well-being, and build self-esteem. It's a small word with a profound impact, enabling us to live more authentically and purposefully. Remember, your worth is not determined by how much you can do for others, but by your own character and actions. Embrace the power of no and watch how it transforms your life, bringing clarity, peace, and a deeper sense of self-respect. What will you say no to today to start this transformative journey? 3. Breaking the cycle of seeking external approval. No. This simple word, often feared and misunderstood, holds the potential to transform your life in ways you may have never imagined. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a cycle of seeking approval from others, constantly trying to meet their expectations and feeling the pressure to say yes to avoid disappointing them? Saying no is not about being rude or selfish. It's about setting boundaries and valuing your own needs and opinions. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle applies perfectly here. When you constantly say yes to others at the expense of your own needs, you are reacting to external pressures rather than acting in accordance with your true self. By learning to say no, you take control of your life and start living more authentically. Consider this. Each time you agree to something that doesn't align with your values or priorities, you are essentially saying no to yourself. Over time, this habit can erode your sense of self-worth and lead to feelings of resentment and burnout. On the other hand, saying no when necessary can be incredibly empowering. It allows you to focus on what truly matters to you, thereby enhancing your personal satisfaction and overall well-being. If your thoughts are constantly dominated by the need for approval from others, your happiness will always be at the mercy of external factors. However, if you cultivate a mindset where your own approval is paramount, you will find a deeper and more enduring sense of contentment. This shift in perspective is crucial for breaking free from the cycle of seeking external approval. Have you ever considered why it's so difficult to say no? Often it's because we fear rejection or judgment. We worry that by declining requests we will disappoint others or damage our relationships. But here's the truth. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. If someone truly values you, they will respect your boundaries and appreciate your honesty. Seneca wisely noted, "If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place but to be a different person." Becoming a different person means being someone who respects their own limits and is not afraid to assert them. Now let's explore the practical aspects of saying no. It begins with self-awareness. Understand your priorities and what you are comfortable committing to. Reflect on your values and goals and let them guide your decisions. When you are clear about what you stand for, it becomes easier to discern when to say yes and when to say no. Communication is key. When you need to say no, do so with kindness and firmness. You don't have to provide lengthy explanations or apologies. A simple, "I appreciate the offer, but I won't be able to commit to that," is sufficient. By being direct and honest, you convey respect for both yourself and the other person. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature, which includes being truthful and straightforward. Here's a question for you to ponder. How often do you say yes out of fear rather than genuine desire? Reflecting on this can be a powerful exercise in understanding your motivations and reclaiming your autonomy. Remember, every no you utter is a step towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. Let's address the emotional aspect of this practice. Saying no can initially evoke feelings of guilt or anxiety, especially if you're accustomed to people-pleasing. It's important to acknowledge these feelings without letting them dictate your actions. Over time, as you become more comfortable with setting boundaries, these negative emotions will diminish. You will start to experience the freedom and empowerment that comes with living in alignment with your true self. Reflect on the wisdom of Epictetus. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Seeking external approval is essentially placing your happiness in the hands of others, something that is beyond your control. By focusing on what you can control, your own actions and decisions, you attain true freedom. As you continue on your Stoic journey, remember that personal growth is a gradual process. It's okay to start small. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations and gradually build up to more significant commitments. Celebrate your progress, no matter how minor it may seem. Each step you take towards valuing your own needs and opinions is a victory in itself. Breaking the cycle of seeking external approval starts with recognizing the power of no. It's about developing a healthier relationship with yourself and learning to prioritize your own needs and values. As you embrace this practice, you will find greater authenticity, personal satisfaction, and resilience. So the next time you feel pressured to say yes, pause and ask yourself, is this truly in line with my values and priorities? By answering this question honestly, you take a significant step towards reclaiming your life and living more authentically. 4. The power of distancing yourself. In our fast-paced world, the power of distancing yourself can be transformative. It's about more than just physically removing yourself from certain situations or people. It's about reaffirming your personality and strength. Distancing yourself sends a clear message that you value your independence and are in control of your own destiny. This concept is rooted in two fundamental pillars: the ability to say no and having a clear direction in life. Saying no is a powerful act of self-respect and self-care. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By saying no, you assert your control over your life and refuse to be swayed by external pressures. This simple word can protect your time, energy, and mental well-being, allowing you to focus on what truly matters to you. Imagine being constantly bombarded with requests, demands, and obligations. Without the ability to decline, you quickly become overwhelmed and lose sight of your own priorities. By confidently saying no, you create space for your own growth and happiness. The second pillar is having a clear direction in life. Knowing your purpose and goals gives you the clarity to make decisions that align with your values and aspirations. As Seneca wisely noted, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. When you have a clear direction, it's easier to identify distractions and avoid being pulled off course. This sense of purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through the noise and chaos of everyday life. Combining these two pillars, the ability to say no and having a clear direction, empowers you to distance yourself when necessary. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or cutting ties with everyone. Rather, it's about being selective and mindful of where you invest your time and energy. In modern life, this can be particularly challenging with the constant connectivity and the pressure to be always available. Yet, it is in these moments that the practice of Stoicism becomes invaluable. By setting boundaries, you can protect your well-being and maintain your focus on what truly matters. Consider the story of a successful businessman who, despite his achievements, felt constantly drained and dissatisfied. He realized that he had been saying yes to every opportunity and request, leaving no time for himself or his family. Inspired by Stoic principles, he began to practice saying no and refocusing on his core goals. This shift not only improved his professional life, but also enriched his personal relationships and overall happiness. Incorporating the power of no and a clear direction into your life might seem daunting at first, especially if you are accustomed to pleasing others or fear missing out. However, the rewards are profound. By setting boundaries, you reclaim your time and energy, allowing you to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. To apply these principles in your daily life, start by identifying your core values and long-term goals. Reflect on what truly matters to you and what you want to achieve. Once you have this clarity, practice saying no to requests and obligations that do not align with your direction. It's important to communicate your boundaries clearly and assertively without feeling guilty or apologetic. Remember, every no is a yes to something more meaningful in your life. The power of distancing yourself lies in your ability to say no and maintain a clear direction. By embracing these pillars, you reaffirm your independence and control over your life. This practice not only protects your mental and emotional well-being, but also enables you to focus on your true priorities. As you navigate through the challenges and demands of modern life, let the wisdom of Stoicism guide you. By distancing yourself when necessary, you create the space to grow, thrive, and live a life aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. Remember, it's not about distancing yourself from everything, but about being mindful of what you allow into your life. Through this practice, you can reclaim your power and live with greater purpose and fulfillment. Thank you for being here and watching this video. What experiences have you had with saying no, and how has it impacted your life? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories in the comments below. If you're not sure what to write, you can start with, "I found power in saying no when," or "saying no helped me to." Your insights can inspire others on their journey to embrace the power of no. 5. Setting boundaries and having direction. Saying no is more than just a refusal. It's a statement of self-respect, a declaration of independence, and a profound tool for setting boundaries. In our fast-paced world, we often feel pressured to say yes to everything, fearing that rejection might lead to missed opportunities or strained relationships. However, the true power of no lies in its ability to communicate our personal needs, preferences, and limits. When you say no, you're not just turning something down. You're asserting your independence and taking control of your life. It's a small word, but it carries immense power. By setting clear boundaries, you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being, ensuring that you invest them in what truly matters to you. Let's consider a story from modern life to illustrate this concept. Meet Sarah, a successful marketing executive working at a top firm. Sarah was always the go-to person for extra projects and last-minute tasks because she rarely said no. Over time, she found herself overwhelmed, burnt out, and feeling resentful towards her colleagues. She realized that her inability to set boundaries was taking a toll on her mental and physical health. One day, after another long night at the office, Sarah decided to change her approach. She started to politely but firmly decline additional tasks that were not her responsibility. She communicated her limits clearly and began prioritizing her well-being. As a result, Sarah noticed a significant improvement in her work-life balance. She was less stressed, more productive, and even had time to pursue her personal interests and spend quality time with her family. By saying no, Sarah reclaimed her life and found a renewed sense of purpose and direction. Direction, on the other hand, is equally crucial. Having clear goals and aspirations provides a sense of purpose and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. It acts as a compass, guiding you through the myriad of distractions and negative influences that can derail your journey. When you have direction, you're less likely to be swayed by external pressures because you have a clear vision of where you want to go and what you need to do to get there. Think about the last time you felt lost or unsure about your next steps. How did it make you feel? Unsettled, anxious, perhaps even a bit scared? Now contrast that with a time when you had a clear plan and knew exactly what you needed to do. The difference is stark. Direction provides clarity and confidence, enabling you to make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals. It helps you avoid distractions and stay committed to your path, no matter how challenging it might be. Imagine you're an artist with a vision for a grand mural. If you don't have a clear plan and boundaries, you might end up with a chaotic mess instead of a masterpiece. But with direction and the ability to say no to distractions, you can create something truly beautiful. The same applies to your life. By setting boundaries and having a clear direction, you can achieve your goals and live a fulfilling life. Let's take a closer look at how setting boundaries and having direction can transform your life. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and a balanced lifestyle. They help you protect your time and energy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. When you set boundaries, you're telling others that you value yourself and your well-being. You're also teaching them how to treat you with respect. It's not about being selfish or unkind. It's about recognizing your worth and ensuring that your needs are met. Having direction, on the other hand, provides a sense of purpose and motivation. It gives you something to strive for and helps you stay focused on your goals. Without direction, it's easy to get lost in the chaos of everyday life, drifting aimlessly from one task to another without any real sense of achievement. But with a clear vision and a set of goals, you can navigate through the distractions and stay on course. Now let's bring it back to you. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed with commitments, unable to say no, and feeling like you're constantly running on empty? How did it affect your well-being and productivity? Conversely, have you experienced the clarity and confidence that comes with having a clear direction and the ability to set boundaries? How did it change your approach to life? 5. The lessons here are simple yet profound. First, recognize the power of no and use it to protect your boundaries. Understand that saying no is not about rejection. It's about prioritizing what's important to you. Second, establish a clear direction for your life. Identify your goals and aspirations, and let them guide your decisions and actions. By doing so, you'll not only avoid distractions and negative influences, but also create a fulfilling and meaningful life. These concepts are intertwined, each reinforcing the other. By setting boundaries, you protect your time and energy, enabling you to stay focused on your goals. And with a clear direction, you gain the confidence and clarity needed to navigate through life's challenges. So, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Where do you need to set boundaries? What direction do you want to pursue? Embrace the power of no and the clarity of direction, and watch as your life transforms for the better. 6. Recognizing patterns and making changes. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by commitments, unable to find time for what truly matters to you? This often stems from a simple yet powerful inability to say no. Recognizing such patterns in our behavior is the first step toward meaningful change. The Stoics believed in living a life of virtue, wisdom, and tranquility. But how can we achieve this if we're constantly bogged down by obligations we never intended to take on? Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Saying no is an act of self-mastery, a declaration that you control your life and decisions. When you start recognizing when and where you need to say this powerful word, you begin to align your actions with your true goals and values. Let's delve into why we often struggle to say no. It's rooted in our desire to please others, to avoid conflict, and sometimes in our fear of missing out. But at what cost? By always saying yes, we dilute our efforts and spread ourselves too thin. This habit can lead to stress, burnout, and a sense of unfulfillment. By not setting boundaries, we compromise our own needs and goals. Have you ever asked yourself, what is the true cost of my inability to say no? Strengthening self-esteem and self-awareness is crucial in overcoming this challenge. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a prominent Stoic, advised, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This principle can be applied to how we manage our commitments. When you recognize your worth and understand your priorities, saying no becomes a natural part of your decision-making process. To practice assertiveness, start small. Begin by declining minor requests that don't align with your goals or values. Notice how it feels and observe the reactions of others. Often you'll find that people respect your honesty and clarity. It's important to remember that assertiveness is not about being aggressive. It's about being clear and direct. How can you practice saying no in a way that feels empowering rather than confrontational? Another key aspect is understanding your personal goals and having the courage to pursue them. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Setting clear goals and daring to prioritize them will transform your life. Take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are your long-term aspirations, and how can you start saying no to distractions that don't serve these goals? It's also helpful to reframe how you view no. Instead of seeing it as a negative response, consider it a positive step towards a more focused and fulfilling life. Each no frees up space for opportunities that align with your true passions and aspirations. Remember, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are inadvertently saying no to something that could be truly significant. Saying no can also enhance your relationships. It fosters mutual respect and clear communication. When you are honest about your limits, you encourage others to do the same, creating an environment where everyone feels valued and understood. Isn't it time we all started embracing the power of no to build healthier, more respectful connections? The journey to mastering the art of no is not easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. It requires patience, practice, and a commitment to self-improvement. The Stoics remind us that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern our actions and decisions. By saying no when necessary, we assert our freedom and take control of our lives. Consider this. How many times have you agreed to something out of obligation, only to regret it later? What if instead you had taken a moment to evaluate whether it truly aligned with your values and goals? Practicing this kind of mindful decision-making can drastically improve your quality of life. The next time you're faced with a request, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values and goals? If the answer is no, embrace the power of that small word. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By mastering the art of saying no, you pave the way to becoming the person you truly want to be. What steps will you take today to harness the power of no and transform your life? 7. The impact of lack of direction. Without a sense of direction, we become vulnerable to the whims and influences of others, often finding ourselves entangled in pursuits that do not align with our true values and goals. This lack of personal direction can lead to a life that feels unfulfilled and misaligned with our core principles. As the renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This highlights the importance of having a clear sense of purpose and direction in life. When we lack this clarity, we are easily swayed by external forces, becoming passengers rather than captains of our own lives. To truly harness the power of no, we must first understand its significance. Saying no is not merely a rejection, it is a profound affirmation of our own values and priorities. When we say no to distractions and demands that do not serve our higher purpose, we are, in effect, saying yes to our own growth, goals, and happiness. This act of setting boundaries is crucial in maintaining our integrity and staying true to ourselves. Epictetus wisely observed, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By learning to say no, we assert our autonomy and reclaim mastery over our lives. In modern life, the pressure to conform to societal expectations and to please others can be overwhelming. We are bombarded with endless demands on our time and attention, from work obligations to social engagements and digital distractions. It becomes increasingly important to discern what truly matters to us and to prioritize those aspects of our lives that bring us genuine fulfillment and joy. The Stoic practice of examining our daily actions and decisions can help us maintain this focus. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic philosopher, advised, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By regularly reflecting on our thoughts and actions, we can ensure they align with our deepest values and aspirations. To apply this in a practical sense, start by identifying your core values and long-term goals. What are the principles that matter most to you? What kind of life do you envision for yourself? Once you have this clarity, use it as a compass to guide your decisions. When faced with a request or an opportunity, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will it bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then give yourself permission to decline. This isn't about being selfish, it's about being intentional with your time and energy. Moreover, the ability to say no with grace and conviction can significantly improve our relationships. It sets clear boundaries and helps others understand our priorities and limits. This can lead to more genuine and respectful interactions. It is also a sign of self-respect and self-awareness, both of which are highly regarded in Stoic philosophy. By honoring our own needs and values, we teach others to do the same. The ancient Stoic Zeno of Citium taught that we should live according to nature, which means living in harmony with our true selves and not being swayed by external pressures. In our pursuit of a meaningful life, it is essential to remember that saying no is not about rejection but about making room for what truly matters. It's about creating space for the activities, relationships, and pursuits that align with our values and contribute to our well-being. This requires courage and practice, but the rewards are profound. By consistently choosing to focus on what matters most, we cultivate a life of purpose and fulfillment. The teachings of Stoicism offer timeless guidance on how to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and resilience. By embracing the power of no, we can steer our lives in a direction that truly reflects our deepest values and aspirations. Remember, as Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By prioritizing what truly matters and learning to say no to the rest, we can achieve a life of true richness and fulfillment. 8. The art of saying no and maintaining focus. Saying no is not about closing doors, it's about opening the right ones. It's an act of self-affirmation and self-awareness, crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and achieving personal growth. When you say no, you're not just rejecting an offer or a request, you're making a conscious choice to prioritize your values, time, and energy. It's a declaration of what's important to you, setting boundaries that protect your mental and emotional well-being. In a world that constantly demands our attention, learning to say no is like wielding a shield against unnecessary distractions, allowing you to maintain focus on your true goals and dreams. Consider the story of Emma, a young professional who was always eager to help others, often at the expense of her own needs. Emma found herself overwhelmed with tasks that weren't her responsibility, saying yes to every request because she feared disappointing others. Her work suffered, her personal projects stalled, and her stress levels soared. It wasn't until she started practicing the art of saying no that she saw a dramatic change. By respectfully declining additional tasks and focusing on her priorities, Emma not only improved her performance at work, but also found time to nurture her hobbies and relationships. This simple shift transformed her life, highlighting the true power of saying no. Think about your own life for a moment. How often do you say yes out of obligation, only to regret it later? How many times have you stretched yourself thin, trying to be everything for everyone while your own dreams and goals take a backseat? Saying no can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to being a people pleaser. But it's a skill worth mastering. When you say no, you're not being selfish, you're being self-aware and strategic about your time and energy. One of the greatest lessons from Stoic philosophy is the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. Saying no is a practical application of this wisdom. It helps you concentrate on what truly matters and let go of what's beyond your control. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By saying no to what doesn't serve your purpose, you harness your inner strength and steer your life towards meaningful pursuits. Let's consider another story, this time of Jack, a successful entrepreneur who learned the hard way that not every opportunity is worth pursuing. Early in his career, Jack said yes to every business proposal, partnership, and project that came his way. His schedule was packed, but his business lacked direction. It wasn't until a mentor advised him to start saying no that Jack realized the importance of focus. By turning down opportunities that didn't align with his vision, Jack could concentrate on what truly mattered to his business. His company thrived, growing beyond his expectations, and Jack found a balance between work and personal life. So, how do you start incorporating the power of no into your life? Begin by identifying your priorities. What are your core values? What goals are you striving to achieve? Once you have clarity on what's important, it becomes easier to say no to distractions. Remember, every time you say yes to something, you're indirectly saying no to something else. Make sure your yeses align with your priorities. It's also crucial to communicate your no effectively. Saying no doesn't have to be harsh or dismissive. Be respectful and honest. You can say something like, "I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on my current commitments." Or, "That sounds like a great opportunity, but it's not the right fit for me at the moment." By being clear and kind, you maintain your integrity and respect the other person's needs. Open-ended questions can also help you reflect on the impact of saying no. Ask yourself, what will I gain by saying no to this? Or, how does this decision align with my long-term goals? These questions can guide you in making decisions that are true to your values and aspirations. As you practice the art of saying no, you'll notice a shift in your life. You'll feel more in control, less stressed, and more focused on what truly matters. Your relationships will improve as people begin to respect your boundaries, and you'll have more time and energy for your passions and pursuits. What steps can you take today to start saying no? How can you align your decisions with your values and priorities? Reflect on these questions and begin your journey towards a more focused and fulfilling life. The power of no is within your grasp. Use it wisely and let it guide you towards the life you envision. If you've made it this far, you're on the path to true empowerment. Drop a comment saying, "I embrace the power of no," to show you're committed to this transformative journey. Stick around. The best is yet to come. 9. Creating healthy relationships. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and consideration, and these principles extend to how we interact with ourselves and others. When you say no, you're not rejecting someone or something. You're affirming your own values and priorities. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By saying no, you exercise this power, choosing what aligns with your true self and discarding what doesn't. Think about the last time you felt overextended. Did you say yes because you wanted to avoid conflict or disappointment? While it's natural to want to please others, constantly acquiescing can lead to resentment and burnout. By embracing the power of no, you create space for what truly matters. Seneca wisely noted, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How often do we waste our precious time on commitments that don't serve us? Consider your current relationships, whether with friends, family, or colleagues. Are these connections nourishing and supportive, or do they drain your energy? Saying no can help you identify and cultivate healthy relationships based on mutual respect. It's a form of self-respect that signals to others that you value your time and well-being. This isn't about being selfish. It's about self-preservation and ensuring that you can give your best to those who matter most. Now let's dive deeper. Why do we struggle with saying no? Fear of rejection, guilt, and the desire to be liked often cloud our judgment. Epictetus, another Stoic thinker, reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you say no, you might worry about others' reactions, but remember that their response is beyond your control. What you can control is your commitment to your principles. Imagine a scenario where you're asked to take on an additional project at work, but you're already stretched thin. Saying no might feel daunting, yet it's essential. By declining, you ensure that you can complete your current tasks effectively without compromising your well-being. This act of self-care is not just beneficial for you, but also for your employer, as it prevents burnout and maintains productivity. How do you feel about prioritizing your mental health over external expectations? The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. Saying no is a practice of this wisdom. It's an acknowledgement of our limits and a conscious decision to protect our mental and emotional resources. Reflect on your daily life. How often do you agree to things out of obligation rather than genuine interest? How might your life change if you started saying no more frequently? In personal relationships, saying no can be even more challenging. You might fear that it will hurt your loved one's feelings or create distance. But true, healthy relationships are those where both parties feel free to express their boundaries without fear of judgment or reprisal. When you say no in a relationship, you're not rejecting the person, but communicating your needs and limits. This honesty fosters deeper understanding and respect. Think of your best relationships. Are they not built on trust and respect? By saying no when necessary, you maintain these foundations. The people who genuinely care about you will understand and appreciate your honesty. As the philosopher Aristotle observed, "Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit." Genuine relationships thrive on mutual understanding, not on constant acquiescence. So how do you start saying no effectively? Begin by understanding your values and priorities. What are the most important aspects of your life? What are you willing to make time for, and what drains you unnecessarily? By clarifying these, you can make more deliberate choices about where to invest your time and energy. Seneca's advice rings true here. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surround yourself with those who respect your boundaries and encourage your growth. When you decide to say no, do it with grace and clarity. Be honest about your reasons without over-explaining or apologizing excessively. A simple, "I'm unable to take this on right now," is often sufficient. Remember, you don't owe anyone an elaborate justification for prioritizing your well-being. To further reinforce the power of no, consider its impact on your personal growth. Each time you set a boundary, you practice self-discipline and cultivate inner strength. This aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on internal virtues over external validation. How might your self-esteem improve if you consistently honored your boundaries? The power of no extends beyond personal boundaries. It also applies to societal pressures and norms. We live in a world that often glorifies busyness and constant productivity. Yet the Stoics remind us that true contentment comes from within, not from external achievements. By saying no to the rat race, you reclaim your peace and focus on what truly enriches your life. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all emphasize the importance of inner strength and clarity. By practicing the power of no, you align yourself with these timeless teachings and create a life that is genuinely fulfilling. 10. Walking away from unfulfilling relationships. In the bustling journey of life, men often face relationships that do not reciprocate the value and respect they deserve. Walking away from such unfulfilling relationships is not just an act of self-preservation, but a profound demonstration of self-esteem. The ability to say no and prioritize one's well-being is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a testament to personal strength. As Seneca wisely put it, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to get entangled in relationships that drain our energy and diminish our self-worth. Yet, the power to reclaim our lives lies in recognizing our value and refusing to settle for anything less. Taking the first step to walk away from a relationship that does not serve you is akin to a sculptor chipping away at the excess marble to reveal the masterpiece within. It is an act of self-discovery and self-respect. By choosing to distance yourself from toxic relationships, you create space for growth and positive connections. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By nurturing relationships that uplift and support you, you align your life with thoughts of worthiness and fulfillment. Walking away is not always easy. It requires courage and a deep understanding of your worth. But remember, saying no to what harms you is saying yes to what nourishes you. This act of self-affirmation sends a powerful message to others about your boundaries and your expectations. It is a reminder that you are not to be taken for granted. Epictetus aptly stated, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This wisdom holds true in every era, urging us to be discerning about the relationships we invest in. In practical terms, walking away from unfulfilling relationships allows you to reclaim your time, energy, and emotional resources. It opens the door to new opportunities and healthier connections. Imagine your life as a garden. Every relationship is a plant. Some plants are weeds that choke the life out of the vibrant flowers. By removing these weeds, you give your flowers the space and nutrients they need to flourish. This metaphor underscores the importance of prioritizing relationships that contribute to your growth and happiness. Moreover, walking away from unfulfilling relationships can serve as a catalyst for personal development. It challenges you to confront your fears, insecurities, and dependency issues. This process of self-examination and growth is essential for building a resilient and fulfilling life. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your decision to leave behind relationships that no longer serve you is a powerful reaction to life's challenges, reflecting your commitment to your well-being and personal growth. In the context of modern life, where social connections are abundant yet often superficial, the ability to discern and distance oneself from unfulfilling relationships is crucial. It requires a mindful approach and a strong sense of self. You must be willing to assess your relationships honestly and make tough decisions for your long-term happiness. This is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-love and self-respect. For many men aged 30 to 65, the fear of loneliness or the societal pressure to maintain appearances can make it difficult to walk away from unfulfilling relationships. However, it is essential to remember that true fulfillment comes from within and is reflected in the quality of your relationships. By embracing the power of no, you take control of your life and create a foundation for genuine, supportive connections. To bring this concept into practical advice, start by evaluating your current relationships. Are they mutually beneficial? Do they uplift and support you? If not, it may be time to consider walking away. Communicate your needs and boundaries clearly and do not be afraid to enforce them. Remember, it is better to be alone than in the company of those who do not value you. As you navigate the complexities of relationships, keep in mind the words of Marcus Aurelius. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Surround yourself with people who inspire positive thoughts and actions, and be courageous enough to walk away from those who do not. This practice will not only enhance your well-being, but also attract healthier and more fulfilling relationships into your life. Walking away from unfulfilling relationships is a powerful act of self-respect and personal growth. It allows you to reclaim your life, prioritize your well-being, and build a foundation for healthier connections. 11. Maintaining emotional balance. In every aspect of life, especially in relationships, maintaining emotional balance is crucial. Picture this. You're in a heated conversation with a friend or a loved one. Emotions are running high, and it feels like the slightest spark could ignite a full-blown argument. It's in these moments that the power of maintaining emotional balance becomes evident. When you can keep your emotions in check, you communicate more effectively, ensuring that your message is heard without overwhelming the other person. This balance doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather managing them in a way that is constructive and respectful. In the context of emotional balance, saying no can be a form of self-care and a boundary-setting tool. How often do you find yourself agreeing to things out of guilt or obligation, only to feel resentment later? By confidently and calmly saying no when necessary, you honor your own needs and prevent emotional overload. This doesn't mean being selfish. It means recognizing your limits and respecting them. Now let's dive deeper into this concept with a story from modern life. Consider the tale of Sarah, a young professional who constantly found herself overwhelmed by the demands of her job and social commitments. Sarah was a people pleaser. She hated to disappoint others and often said yes to additional tasks at work, social events, and favors for friends, even when she was already stretched thin. Her breaking point came when she had to miss an important family event because she had agreed to take on extra work at the office. Feeling the weight of her choices, Sarah decided to seek advice from a mentor who was known for her calm and balanced demeanor. The mentor taught Sarah the importance of emotional balance and the power of the word no. She explained that by saying no to some demands, Sarah could say yes to her own well-being and priorities. Inspired, Sarah started to practice this new approach. She respectfully declined additional work when her plate was already full and set boundaries with her friends, explaining that she needed time for herself. The results were transformative. Sarah found that she had more energy, was more focused at work, and enjoyed her social interactions more because she was no longer feeling resentful. She communicated her emotions more effectively, without the fear of overwhelming others, because she had found her balance. This small change had a huge impact on her life, turning things around in a way she hadn't thought possible. So how can you apply this in your own life? Start by recognizing the moments when you feel overwhelmed and ask yourself if there are situations where you can say no. Are there commitments you've taken on out of obligation rather than genuine desire? By setting these boundaries, you create space for more meaningful and balanced interactions. Emotional balance is not about being emotionless. It's about expressing your feelings in a way that is healthy for you and those around you. Open-ended question. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the demands of others and struggled to maintain your emotional balance? How did it affect your relationships and overall well-being? Reflecting on these questions can help you identify areas where you can implement the power of no and find your own emotional equilibrium. The specific lesson here is clear. Emotional balance is key to healthy relationships and personal well-being. It allows you to communicate more effectively, set necessary boundaries, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. By understanding and embracing the power of saying no, you not only respect your own needs but also improve the quality of your interactions with others. Remember, maintaining emotional balance is a continuous practice, but it's one that brings invaluable rewards. 12. Creating your own happiness. When you say no to the things that don't serve your purpose, you open up a world of possibilities for the things that truly matter. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." By learning to say no, you can stop wasting your precious time on trivial pursuits and focus on what truly enriches your life. Now think about the situations where you feel overwhelmed or stretched too thin. How often do you say yes out of obligation, fear of missing out, or simply to avoid conflict? Each yes can feel like a small concession, but collectively, they can lead to burnout and a loss of self. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By embracing the power of no, you exercise control over your choices and reinforce your boundaries, thereby protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Saying no isn't about being negative or dismissive. It's about being discerning. It means making deliberate choices that align with your values and goals. This small word helps you maintain your integrity and stay true to yourself. Epictetus, another Stoic sage, reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you master the art of saying no, you become the master of your own destiny, free from the pressures and expectations of others. Consider the last time you agreed to something reluctantly. How did it make you feel? Perhaps it led to resentment or regret, emotions that can weigh heavily on your heart. By saying no when you need to, you avoid these negative feelings and maintain your inner peace. This practice also fosters respect from others as they begin to understand and appreciate your boundaries. In turn, you cultivate healthier and more balanced relationships, both personally and professionally. But how do you start incorporating no into your vocabulary without feeling guilty or selfish? Begin by assessing your priorities and understanding what truly matters to you. Reflect on your goals and the values that guide your life. When a request or opportunity arises, ask yourself if it aligns with these priorities. If it doesn't, give yourself permission to decline. This isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about opening up to what genuinely fulfills you. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." By saying no, you affirm your identity and stay true to your path. Think about the positive impact this can have on your life. By saying no to unnecessary commitments, you free up time for activities that bring you joy and satisfaction. You can focus on personal growth, hobbies, and relationships that add value to your life. Imagine the sense of empowerment that comes from knowing you have the agency to choose how you spend your time. This isn't just theoretical, it's a practical approach to enhancing your quality of life. Let's not forget the ripple effect of your decisions. When you prioritize your well-being, you set an example for those around you. You become a beacon of self-respect and assertiveness, inspiring others to honor their own boundaries. This collective shift can lead to a more balanced and respectful community, where everyone's needs and preferences are valued. Now let's turn the lens inward. How can you apply this principle in your daily life? Start with small steps. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations, like declining an invitation to a social event that doesn't interest you. Gradually, as you build confidence, you can tackle more significant requests, such as turning down additional work that exceeds your capacity. Remember, each no is a step toward a more intentional and fulfilling life. As you embark on this journey, keep in mind the words of Aristotle. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. The more you understand your limits and desires, the easier it becomes to assert them. Embrace the discomfort that may come with saying no, knowing that it is a necessary part of growth. Over time, you'll find that this small word carries immense power, transforming your interactions and enhancing your overall well-being. Let's engage with this idea further. Can you think of a recent situation where you wish you had said no? What held you back? How might things have been different if you had asserted your boundary? Reflecting on these questions can help you identify patterns and prepare you for future decisions. By integrating this practice into your life, you can reclaim your time and energy, align your actions with your values, and build healthier relationships. As you move forward, remember that every no is a yes to something more meaningful. How will you use this newfound power to shape your life? Embrace the challenge and watch as your world transforms for the better. The journey of mastering no is ongoing, but with each step, you move closer to a life of greater purpose and fulfillment. Thank you for staying tuned. Have you ever said no and noticed a significant change in your life? We'd love for you to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments section. If you're unsure what to comment, you could begin with, "I realized the strength of saying no when," or "declining helped me to." Your stories can motivate others to understand and utilize the power of no. 13. The willingness to walk away. Being willing to walk away from relationships that do not value you is not just an act of defiance, but a profound assertion of your self-worth. It's about making conscious choices that reflect your personal values and dignity. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This is a guiding principle in understanding the true power of no. Walking away requires courage, yet it is one of the most empowering actions one can take. It's an acknowledgement that you deserve respect and appreciation. By staying in a relationship or situation that undermines your value, you compromise your integrity and happiness. Reflect on this in your own life. Are there situations or relationships that drain your energy and undermine your self-esteem? The act of saying no and stepping away is a powerful statement to yourself and the world that you deserve better. In our modern lives, we often find ourselves entangled in relationships or commitments that don't serve us. Whether it's a job that fails to recognize our efforts, friendships that are one-sided, or romantic relationships where our needs are unmet, the willingness to walk away is crucial. It echoes the Stoic teaching that we should not be afraid to lose what doesn't add value to our lives. As Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. To walk away effectively, it is essential to understand your values and what you stand for. When you have a clear sense of your worth and what you believe in, making decisions that honor those values becomes easier. This clarity acts as your compass, guiding you towards relationships and situations that align with your principles. Walking away isn't about anger or revenge. It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are precious and should be spent in places where you are valued. This act of self-care is a testament to your resilience and commitment to your well-being. As Marcus Aurelius put it, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Instead of staying in toxic environments, rise above them and choose what's best for you." However, this doesn't mean walking away is easy. It can be incredibly challenging, especially when emotions are involved, or the situation has become a part of your daily routine. It's important to remember that every no you say is a yes to something better. By freeing yourself from negative influences, you open up space for positive ones to enter your life. In today's fast-paced world, the ability to say no and walk away is more critical than ever. We are constantly bombarded with demands on our time and energy, making it easy to lose sight of our own needs and priorities. By practicing the Stoic virtue of self-control and understanding the power of no, we can protect our well-being and maintain our integrity. Think about the times you've said yes when you wanted to say no. How did that make you feel? Now imagine the relief and empowerment that comes with honoring your true feelings and walking away from what doesn't serve you. It's a liberating experience that reinforces your self-worth and aligns your actions with your values. The willingness to walk away also cultivates a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It teaches you that there are plenty of opportunities and relationships out there that will respect and value you. By letting go of what doesn't serve you, you make room for what does. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction to undervaluing situations should be one of self-preservation and dignity. By embracing this principle, you align yourself with a life that honors your worth and fosters genuine happiness. Remember, every step you take away from what doesn't serve you is a step towards a life that does. The words of Marcus Aurelius echo in this sentiment. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. 14. Prioritizing yourself. Imagine for a second a scenario where your needs and well-being are no longer sacrificed for the sake of others. Instead, you reclaim your power by using the word no judiciously, prioritizing yourself. Consider Sarah, a dedicated professional who always put others first. She was the go-to person in her office, always ready to help, always saying yes. However, this constant agreement came at a cost. Sarah found herself burnt out, with little time for her own passions and health. One day, her mentor advised her to start saying no more often to protect her well-being. It was a revelation. Initially, it felt uncomfortable, but soon, Sarah noticed the change. By saying no to extra projects and unnecessary meetings, she had more time for herself. Her productivity improved, her stress levels decreased, and she was happier. The lesson here is powerful and clear. The word no is not just a refusal. It's a declaration of self-worth. When we prioritize ourselves, we create space for what truly matters. In a Stoic sense, it's about understanding what is within our control and what is not. Our time and energy are finite resources. By protecting them, we align our actions with our values and goals, fostering a life of purpose and balance. Reflect on your own life. How often do you say yes out of obligation rather than genuine desire? How does that impact your mental and physical health? It's crucial to understand that saying no does not make you selfish. On the contrary, it enables you to give your best self to the things that genuinely matter to you and to those you care about. By setting boundaries, you cultivate a healthier relationship with yourself and others. Now, let's delve into the concept of prioritizing yourself. Think of it as putting on your oxygen mask first before assisting others. This isn't just practical advice. It's a metaphor for life. When you prioritize your needs and well-being, you are better equipped to support and uplift those around you. It's a fundamental principle in Stoicism, to know oneself and to live in accordance with nature. This means understanding your limits and not overextending yourself to the point of depletion. In today's fast-paced world, the art of saying no is more relevant than ever. It's about reclaiming your time and your peace. Imagine being able to say no without guilt, knowing that you are safeguarding your well-being. This isn't just about declining invitations or additional tasks. It's about making conscious choices that reflect your values and priorities. It's about surrounding yourself with people who respect your boundaries and value your presence. The practice of prioritizing yourself also involves introspection. Ask yourself, what are your non-negotiables? What aspects of your life bring you joy and fulfillment? By identifying these, you can make informed decisions about where to invest your time and energy. This process of self-discovery is empowering. It allows you to lead a life that is true to who you are, rather than being swayed by external pressures and expectations. Let's consider another story. John was an entrepreneur who found himself overwhelmed with the demands of running a business. He was constantly saying yes to new opportunities, partnerships, and client requests. While this seemed beneficial initially, it soon became apparent that he was stretched too thin. His health deteriorated and his business suffered due to his inability to focus on core activities. After much reflection, John decided to implement a more strategic approach. He started saying no to opportunities that didn't align with his long-term goals. This shift allowed him to dedicate more time to his health, improve his business operations, and ultimately achieve greater success. This transformation isn't just for entrepreneurs or professionals, it's applicable to everyone. Whether you are a student, a parent, or a retiree, the principle remains the same. By prioritizing yourself, you create a foundation of strength and clarity. You can engage more meaningfully with the world around you and pursue your aspirations with renewed vigor. In embracing the power of no, you also foster resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges are inevitable. By setting boundaries, you build a reserve of emotional and physical energy to navigate these challenges. You become more attuned to your needs and more capable of adapting to change. This resilience is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. To remain steadfast and composed in the face of adversity. 14. So I challenge you today. Start small. Identify one area of your life where you feel overextended and practice saying no. Notice how it feels and observe the impact it has on your well-being. Remember, prioritizing yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. By doing so, you set a powerful example for others and pave the way for a more balanced and fulfilling life. In essence, the power of no is the power to shape your destiny. It's the key to living a life that is true to yourself and aligned with your deepest values. So, the next time you feel pressured to say yes, pause and consider, is this truly in line with my priorities? If not, embrace the strength to say no. Your future self will thank you. 15. Communicating effectively. When you learn to say no effectively, you open up space for the things that truly matter, aligning your actions with your values and priorities. As Seneca wisely said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. By embracing the power of no, you reclaim your time and focus on what is truly important. How often do you find yourself overwhelmed, stretched too thin, or doing things that you don't enjoy? It's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to every request or opportunity that comes your way, fearing that saying no might disappoint others or close doors. However, by always saying yes, you risk losing sight of your own needs and desires. Stoicism teaches us that we should be the masters of our own fate, not at the mercy of external demands. Marcus Aurelius, a revered Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine the liberation that comes with confidently and calmly saying no. It's not about being selfish or uncooperative. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are limited resources that should be invested wisely. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you're actually saying yes to your growth, peace, and purpose. This clarity is what Epictetus referred to when he advised, "He who is not a good servant will not be a good master." By being selective with your commitments, you become more effective and genuine in your interactions. Effective communication is a key component of this process. It's not just about the words you use, but the balance you strike in your interactions. Allow others to initiate contact sometimes, showing that you have your own life and interests. This not only sets healthy boundaries, but also encourages mutual respect in relationships. It's about creating a dynamic where both parties feel valued and understood. Reflect on your current communication patterns. Are you always the one reaching out, or do you wait for others to connect with you? This balance is crucial for maintaining healthy and fulfilling relationships. It's not always easy, especially when faced with persuasive people or tempting opportunities. However, a well-placed no can be incredibly empowering. Start by being honest with yourself about your capacities and priorities. When you're clear on these, it becomes easier to discern which requests align with your goals and which do not. Remember, saying no doesn't mean you are closing yourself off from all opportunities. Instead, It means you are opening up space for the right ones. As Aristotle famously said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Consider this. When was the last time you felt truly in control of your schedule? For many, the constant barrage of commitments and expectations can feel overwhelming. Yet by strategically saying no, you can regain a sense of autonomy and balance. It's about quality over quantity, focusing on what brings you joy and fulfillment rather than trying to please everyone. This approach can lead to more meaningful and productive engagements, as you're dedicating your time to endeavors that genuinely resonate with you. Let's explore some practical steps to master the art of saying no. First, practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Pay attention to your immediate reaction when faced with a request. Do you feel a sense of obligation or excitement? This initial response can be a strong indicator of whether the request aligns with your values. Next, communicate your decision with clarity and confidence. You don't need to offer lengthy explanations or apologies. A simple, "I'm unable to commit to this right now," can be both polite and firm. Over time, as you become more comfortable with this practice, you'll find it easier to make decisions that honor your true self. Moreover, consider the long-term benefits of setting boundaries. By saying no to what doesn't serve you, you're preserving your energy for what does. This can lead to improved mental health, better relationships, and greater overall satisfaction. It's about creating a life that reflects your authentic self, free from the pressures and expectations of others. Think about how this approach could transform your daily interactions and overall well-being. How would your life change if you consistently prioritized your needs and values? The journey of mastering no is deeply personal and unique to each individual. It requires introspection, courage, and practice. Yet the rewards are profound. By embracing this small but powerful word, you can create a life that is not only more manageable but also more meaningful. As you navigate this process, remember the wisdom of the Stoics who have paved the way. Let their teachings guide you towards a life of balance, purpose, and fulfillment. Thank you for watching this video on the power of saying no and how it can turn your life around. Embracing the ability to say no can be a game changer, allowing you to set clear boundaries and prioritize what truly matters. By following these Stoic principles, you become a person of immense value, and others will naturally want to prioritize you in their lives. Remember, you have the power to choose who you allow into your life based on how they value and prioritize you. This simple yet powerful word can help you maintain your peace of mind and lead a more focused, purpose-driven life. If you found this message helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family who might benefit from learning about the true power of no. Your likes and shares help us reach more people and spread the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic in Your Life for more insightful content on how ancient Stoic principles can be applied to our modern-day challenges. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We have many more topics to explore that can help you navigate life's ebbs and flows with a serene mind and resilient spirit. Your support means a lot to us, and we appreciate your engagement with our channel. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to sharing more valuable content with you. Have a wonderful day, and remember to keep practicing the principles of Stoicism in your daily life.